The engine died, and the silence, it was absolute. Not the kind of silence you find in a quiet city apartment where the hum of distant traffic or the sigh of the building still lingers. No, this was the deep, expansive quiet of 1,000 acres of towering pine, of a lake so still it mirrored the sky perfectly. I remember stepping out of the car, breathing in the crisp, cool air, feeling the undeniable weight of isolation settle around me like a comforting blanket. This was it, my digital detox. A week, maybe 2, in a remote cabin, utterly disconnected. No phone, no Wi-Fi, no news, no distractions. Just me, the woods, and the vast, beautiful expanse of nothingness. The first day was pure bliss. I hiked, I read, I cooked simple meals, and for the first time in what felt like years, I actually felt present. The nights were surprisingly dark, the kind of dark where the stars blaze with an intensity you never see in a light-polluted world. I fell asleep easily, lulled by the gentle rustle of leaves outside my window. But then came the first dream. It was vivid, unnervingly so. I was in my bed, exactly where I was sleeping, and outside the large window, just beyond the glass, a figure stood. Silhouetted against the faint moonlight, it was impossible to discern any features, but the sense of being watched was palpable, chilling. The dream wasn't violent or overtly threatening, just an observer. I woke up with a start, my heart thumping against my ribs. The cabin was silent, save for the rhythmic chirping of crickets. I told myself it was just a strange dream, a natural consequence of being in an unfamiliar, isolated place, my subconscious playing tricks. I dismissed it, took a deep breath, and eventually drifted back to sleep. The second night, the dream returned. This time, the figure seemed closer, its form slightly more defined, though still featureless. It wasn't menacing, but the intensity of its gaze, even in a dream, felt like a physical weight. I woke up with a dry mouth and a prickle of unease on my skin. I got up, walked to the window, and peered out into the inky blackness. Nothing. The trees stood sentinel, their branches swaying gently in the breeze. The lake shimmered faintly in the distance. The profound solitude that had been so comforting just days before now felt vulnerable. I reminded myself of the logical explanation. Cabin in the woods, old horror tropes, overactive imagination. It had to be. The third night arrived, bringing with it a subtle shift in the air, a cool front perhaps. I found myself feeling oddly anticipatory as I climbed into bed. Would the dream come again? And if so, what would it reveal? Sleep came slowly, peppered with restless turns. And then it was there. The dream, sharper, clearer than before. The figure was right up against the glass, its face still obscured, but its presence undeniable. There was a sense of intent, as if it wasn't just watching, but waiting. I jolted awake, not with a gasp, but with a quiet, creeping terror. The room was dark, but a sliver of moonlight cut through the window, illuminating a small patch of the wooden floor beside my bed. And there, on that patch of floor, nestled against the leg of the nightstand, was a photograph. My breath hitched. My mind, still fuzzy from sleep, struggled to process what I was seeing. It was a Polaroid, and on it, undeniably, was me, asleep, in this bed. The angle of the shot was from outside, through the window, just as in my dreams. The details were clear, the rumpled sheets, the way my arm was thrown over the pillow, the subtle rise of my chest. It was real. It wasn't a dream. Someone had been out there. Someone had watched me and taken this picture. A cold dread spread through me, chilling me to the bone. My digital detox, my haven, had been breached. I scrambled out of bed, the floorboards creaking under my bare feet, my eyes wide with a mixture of fear and adrenaline. I stumbled to the window, the very window from which the photo had been taken. I pressed my face against the cool glass, peering frantically into the inky blackness outside. My eyes strained, searching for any movement, any shadow that wasn't a tree. Nothing. Only the whispering wind through the pines. No footprints in the soft earth below. No sign of anyone. The silence that had once been comforting was now suffocating, mocking. My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat against the overwhelming quiet. I felt a surge of panic, the urge to run, to scream, to simply get out. I spun around, ready to grab my keys, my bag, anything, and flee. And that's when I saw it. On the wooden floor, directly behind where I had just been standing, where I had turned away from my bed to look out the window, lay another photograph. This one was also a Polaroid, but the angle was impossible. It was a photo of me standing at the window, my back to the camera, my face pressed against the glass, peering out into the night. It was taken from inside the cabin. The blood drained from my face. My cabin? His camera? From inside. The realization hit me with the force of a physical blow. The dreams, the first photo, they were all a prelude. He wasn't just outside. He had been here, with me, inside this cabin, while I slept, while I stood at that window, oblivious, searching for a phantom presence in the dark. He was behind me. He is still here. Every shadow in the room seemed to deepen. Every creak of the old wood became sinister. My sanctuary had become a cage, and I was not alone in it. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat in a chair, clutching a heavy iron poker from the fireplace, my gaze darting around the room, scrutinizing every corner, every piece of furniture. The air was thick with the unseen, the unspoken. I left at first light, driving away from the cabin with a desperate urgency, not even bothering to pack everything. The silence of the woods, which had once promised peace, now carried an echo of a silent presence, a cold reminder that sometimes what you seek to escape finds you even in the deepest solitude. This story, like many, makes us question the true meaning of being alone, doesn't it? And what lurks just beyond the edges of our perception. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this tale, or perhaps a similar moment that left you feeling a chill. Share your experiences in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey into the unsettling quiet, consider hitting that like button and subscribing for more stories that linger long after they're told. Until next time, stay safe and perhaps keep a light on.